Welcome to the Wizard Marketing TikTok Live recap from March 15th, 2024. What AI tool do you recommend? It's actually funny you bring that up. I actually have a screen pulled up with Claude. Claude is the AI tool that I'm using right now that I'm finding really awesome, really powerful, and it's got the best responses I've seen in a while from an AI tool. So highly recommend if you haven't checked out Claude as an AI tool solution over ChatGPT or Grok or some of these other AI tools. I think it's a really strong tool. Claude, CLAUDE.ai. Claude.ai is the name of the tool. Highly recommend it. Please go check it out. I do believe, though, it's only a paid solution I'm using right now, and I think it's a fantastic tool. I really just use it as a person to bounce ideas off of or ideate some quick conversational things or help me structure proposal, rewrite the deliverables into an actionable proposal, stuff like that. I use it to create ideas. Right now, we're developing a new landing page for one of our products, and I used Claude to generate me 3 variants of the page, all with different purposes, ideas, targets, and we're taking all 3 of those and mix and matching it to be the best version that we like, using that as just a guidance tool. AI is AI. It's large language learning model, and it's there to help you just ideate and review, discover, find things in text quickly. It's very flexible. Think of it like an unpaid intern that does their homework. What would your ideal local business niche for Google Ads services be? I can tell you very easily, Lane, I built my business on landscapers. When I started out, I niched down to landscapers and served them specifically for many years. And so I still have tons of ads and ad tricks developed that work great in the landscaping space. That being said, the trick with ads right now is that ads are more about awareness than conversion. It's a little tricky. I'm seeing a lot less one visit conversions, a lot more multi-visit conversions than I used to. And so just being very aware that your Google ads or any ads that you run might not be reporting 100% of the value they're creating because people are having longer sales cycles now. They're taking their time, they're investigating, and really exploring what their options are. Any experience with Lightspeed servers or caching? I have not used Lightspeed, any of their servers or their caching tools. We use WP Rocket for our WordPress websites for our speed up tool, our caching tool, and really like it. Works very well. What do you think of High Level? So High Level, if you don't know what it is, it's a CRM, a customer relationship manager. It's a tool to track all of your leads, all of your business opportunities, and watch them to the end, make sure you're following up, stuff like that. It also just has a ton of other tools under the hood, like marketing tools, and so it's a very robust thing to get into. I like Go High Level. I don't personally use it, but that's only because I have a homegrown built system that I use for my business that has worked very well for us for many years, and I'm not looking to get rid of it because our workflows work very well. One day I'll have to, I'm very aware of that, but right now, as we're scaling up, I don't want to put any more volatility into my business, and we're going to stick with the system that we have. But if you don't have a CRM or a way to track your leads, Go High Level is a fantastic option for that. Do you normally use a CDN? So a CDN is a content delivery network, for those of you who don't know. That's something for your website where rather than having your website on just one server somewhere and I have to travel all the way through the internet to get to your one server, now I can go to a localized content delivery network node and download a copy of your website. And it's much faster for loading if you are national or global as a website. So I highly recommend that anyone who is not just a local business or has a server that's not in their local area, a CDN could be a smart move for you. How can I convince people they need non-GMO toilet paper? Comes down to an issue of brand messaging, okay? And you're probably trying to tell people about the benefits of the toilet paper rather than the benefits of what happens after they use the toilet paper. Okay. So what happens if they use that toilet paper to the world, to their lives, to their local ecosystems, rather than what are the benefits of that actual toilet paper, right? Toilet paper is toilet paper. It's going to wipe your bottom and it's going to go down the toilet and it's going to dispose and it's going to break down. Okay. Right. That's like the general, every toilet paper does this. So don't tell that story. When you buy non-GMO toilet paper, you use a fully 100% biodegradable substance. You're actually returning it back into soil and restoring nutrients to the soil because of the toilet paper, but whatever the message is. You got to find the bigger, broader picture. What are your thoughts on SEO in B2B, business to business? Is it worth to pursue or focus your efforts elsewhere? So this is a great question, and the answer is it depends. I know that's not helpful, but let's talk about why it depends. When you're in any market, any business, anything you do, you have to evaluate marketing channels based off of who you are and what industry you're in. You can't base it off of this is what everybody else does, okay? Because there are certain channels for certain businesses that are either oversaturated or dominated by certain big names. That's very hard to do. For example, here's an easy one. Real estate agents should not be doing SEO because you're not going to beat Zillow, Redfin, Realtor, Caldwell Banker, all these big names, right? It's going to be impossible for you. So in B2B, you have to look at your space and go, is there a relative open for SEO be a feasible option for my business to make a return on investment? The nice thing about SEO is that if you're a B2B, typically you have a higher ticket sale. So SEO is relatively inexpensive as a marketing strategy versus other strategies that might be more costly, right? So what we're looking at as a business going into 2024 and looking beyond, and we're detouring here from your answer, but it's still relevant. Attribution, or the act of tracking an individualized marketing activity back to revenue, is becoming much harder not only because tracking is getting harder due to privacy laws, but also because the buying cycle that people go through is very different. It used to be discovery, information, conversion. Like that was the flow. Now it's discovery, and then it's lifestyle experience, and then it's validation, and then it's purchase. So people are spending a lot more time in the brand ecosystem swirling around a product before they engage with it. And so it's very hard to say ads created their first touch point, but it was actually this blog that got them to sell, right? What we need to be focusing on is a statistic called MER, M-E-R, or Marketing Efficiency Ratio. And the idea behind this is that rather than focus on this one activity brought me in this many sales, we're instead focusing on I spent this much money and made this much money. And that's your marketing efficiency ratio, right? So if I spend $100 and I make $1,000, my marketing efficiency ratio is 10, right? If I spend $100 and I make $100, my marketing efficiency ratio is 1. Every $1 in marketing is $1 in sales, which could still be a good MER. That actually could still be good. Yeah. If you have a repeat purchase system, right? So if you sell something that people rebuy and rebuy and rebuy, a MER of 1 might actually be good because that's your cost for acquisition, but then future sales actually are where you make your revenue. So there's a lot to break down there. Is Google Ads PPC an option for florists? Absolutely. People are looking for flowers near me. People are looking for florists near me. They want to buy flowers today. They want to walk in. They want to pick it up. So running a light PPC ad to make sure you're capturing those opportunities is absolutely an option. Any advice on how to manage the marketing for a brand new YouTube channel? So there are phases of growth in social media. The initial phase of growth is getting your first set of eyeballs, right? You need to get subscribers, specifically on YouTube subscribers, right? Instagram is the same way. TikTok's a little different because TikTok is actually a discovery platform and not a following platform, which is a little counterintuitive. But for YouTube, my high recommendation, if you're serious about your YouTube channel and you really want to grow it, you're going to do a couple months of content, find out what's working, find your best video or two, and then run ads using those videos. And run those ads with the intention of growing your subscriber base. that's what's really going to build you up over time, is getting more YouTube subscribers, because more YouTube subscribers is initial burst of views on your videos, which is going to lead to higher opportunities in the search algo. That's how I would manage that. Vibes management, 2 websites and no traffic and sales. Kim, the question you have to ask at that point is, am I supplying a demand, right? Is there a demand for what I'm doing? And the reality is, and Rory Sutherland covers this excellently, he talks about there's 2 ways to grow a business: find a demand and supply it, or create a supply, or if you have a supply, create a demand. So right now you have a product, you have a service, you have to go create demand for it. And so that's the tricky bit, is that if you have no money, you might have started your business flip-flopped. And this is something that I talk about a lot on here. This is not necessarily marketing advice, but just business advice. If you're looking to start a business, the most important thing in your business is sales. It's not your deliverable. It's not your product. It's not your customer service. It's not your logo. None of that matters if you can't sell. So the most important thing in a business is sales, until it is not, right? That's when we will eventually pass a point of no return, where now we actually do have to care about the delivery and the customer service and things like that. And so I just highly encourage anyone starting a business, like, do not ignore your sales. You should be spending 50 to 70% of your time on sales when you start your business. What are your thoughts on original content being flagged as AI on websites, going through that issue? So I am blessed. We just went through a massive Google algorithmic update. For those of you who don't know, the SEO algorithm changed with an effort to stop spammy AI content. And here's the crazy part, all right? None of my sites got hit long term, except for my B2B SaaS sites. Those seem to take a little hit, but all in all, none of my sites got hit, which is hilarious, because I have one site that I specifically am testing spammy AI generated content on, and it actually is doing better now. So I don't know what's going on with this algorithmic update, but I literally have a site that I'm testing 3 AI posts a day, and it's just continuing to skyrocket. So I don't know what's going on with the algorithm right now. It's really messed up, but that's why we're looking at other things like YouTube SEO, as well as AI SEO, which is like manipulating the ChatGPT and stuff. Miriam, are all websites built using templates? No, in fact, the best websites are built from scratch by hand. They load the fastest, they work. They don't necessarily work the best, but that's how everything was built. And then people couldn't build the right way using code and HTML and CSS and stuff like that. And so they made all these template tools called CMSs, content management systems, to allow you to make websites without knowing all of that. And in fact, I just saw an article 2 days ago about how WordPress is now 40% of all websites. How wild. 46%. That's almost 1 out of 2 websites is a WordPress site. And I was blown away by how many websites are Wix-based websites. It's 17 or 18% of all websites are Wix-based. Blew my mind that there's that many Wix sites. Industries such as painting and carpentry based in Cincinnati, how many impressions could they get? I have local businesses doing 100,000 impressions a month. But impressions doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. Impressions is a vanity metric after a point, right? Initially, you need to get impressions to know that you're building your SEO correctly, but after a certain point, getting more impressions doesn't mean anything. Then we need to look at actual rank, click-through rate, things like that. How do you suggest excelling in sales? You have to do it a bunch. Honestly, I hate sales, and I do it all day long every day. That's my primary job at my business now, is selling, and then I do all the strategy work for my business. The thing about sales is you just get better at it. The other thing you can say about sales is this is a contradictory thing when you get into sales. You want to think that if I give you more information, you'll be more likely to buy, but that's not necessarily the case. Okay? You want to give them pieces of information that allow them to connect breadcrumbs, right? Let the person you're selling to fill the gap. And I have this trick that I do is when I tell people the price of what I do, I immediately shut up and I make them say the next thing, because they're going to feel awkward after long enough silence. They'll break the silence and they'll say, like, their soul will just blurt out whatever's important on it, because it's got to say something to fill the space. And that's going to be the most critical thing for me to address in the entire conversation, right? So if I'm doing my pitch and I'm like, yeah, and so our SEO program is $1,000 a month, and I just shut up, say nothing. You felt that awkwardness for a second where I was quiet and you were just sitting there, right? Like that was, you could feel it start to build. And I've had people go 8-10 seconds, just like leaving that void out there. And I will not break. It is a rule that I have for myself now, because you leave that space open, they're going to have to fill it with something, and it will always be their gut punch reaction that they fill that space with. And so then you just know what objective you have to handle as the salesperson. So it's worked really well for me. Do I make TikTok posts related to business or like personal funny stuff? It depends. People are buying into lifestyle brands. And Christopher Claflin just did an interesting video that initially I was disagreeing with his video, but then as I got into more of it, I understood where he was going with it. So I was like, immediately, I was like, oh, I'm going to do a video about his video. And now I'm like, I'm going to leave it alone. But there is so much power in personal connection right now. And there's so much value in the influenced person relationship. Building a personal brand, people want to gravitate around you. People want to be around you. It's like the TV show Friends. You felt like you were the seventh friend when you watched that show. It's the same thing now on social media. Right now, we're connecting. We're building rapport. We're building a relationship. And you might want that relationship, so you'll follow me. And then you follow me and you watch more of my videos and you feel like we're more connected. And I know we're more connected because you're following the content I'm putting out. So it's like we're having a conversation, even though maybe we're not physically having it. We are exchanging conversation like signals to one another. And so that eventually you'll go, hey, I need what he has. Or maybe you'll say, I know someone who needs what he has. And you refer them, and then they get in a nice funnel and we talk and we end up doing work together. And so that's how businesses are really growing right now using social media, is by building that relationship, or what I would call lifestyle marketing. I'm building a lifestyle that you want to be a part of and leveraging that into the eventual connection. So funnel times are getting longer. I have people that have been following me for 6, 8, 9 months that finally get on my calendar, right? Not 1 or 2 months like a traditional funnel, but like 9 months to a year. That's my funnel length now, because you have to experience me. You have to feel me out. You have to get into my ecosystem. And that's what's working. So if you have a personality worth orbiting with, being in orbit with, then yeah, go post about that. Does the age of domain play a role in its ranking? No, in fact, Google just tried to shut that down with this latest update. Can you suggest a good process for running B2C competitions, focusing on data flow? Rudy, there's a tool called Gleam, Gleam.io, Gleam.io. I love this thing. I wish more of my clients did this. It is a social competition tool that enters people into raffles for giveaways. It is addictive. It is such a cool tool. It lets you run amazing campaigns that actually get you social movement results that I think are actually very valuable. It's Gleam.io, Gleam.io. There are some competitors to it. I just like Gleam because I've used it a bunch, but could be some that are better. Best way to advertise: every toy shop sells the same items. You got to build affinity with your brand. What is your brand doing to retain people to your brand specifically? That's what I would look into. That's going to manifest in a weird way. That's not something I can just say, oh yeah, do a run Facebook ad. It's going to be about building that. Remember, lifestyle marketing. Find the lifestyle of the people consuming from you. Give that back to them. Fill them up in that lifestyle. That's the key. Talking about cold email. Do you find that a casual tone works in this format? So, great question. Cold email is all about simplicity. The simpler the email, the better it performs. The key here with cold email is you've got to crush your subject lines. And the subject lines are not what you would think. They're literally like the recipient name. I have a 67% open rate on one of my emails that's just the recipient's name. And I have maybe a 3.5% response rate on that one. So it's all about the simplicity of the cold email. No links, no pictures, no attachments, nothing, just simple. And don't dance around the issue either. You're cold emailing them. Be direct and forward about it. What would you recommend as a minimum ad spend on both Google Ads and Facebook ads? So when we run an ad program for a client, we recommend an absolute minimum of $3,000 a month on ad spend. We would like to see $5,000 a month. The reason why we recommend that number is because we tend to see a tipping point around that $3,000 to $5,000 mark where the ads can cover the audience that we're trying to hit. And so when you can fully cover the audience you're trying to hit, you can actually see if the ads are working. If you're not hitting the full width of the audience, then you tend to not get very good data, or you could actually undervalue or under-delivering the results on your ad, which is, we don't want that. We want to see the full data. That's our recommendation. If you're an agency or a freelancer, personal tip, there are some customers you can't help. You can help them, but they won't let you help them. So and you have to let it go. You can't take it personally. You have to just let them be free. Customers who are overly price conscious never do well in paid ads because they're always scared about the amount they're spending. They never tie it back to the amount they're actually making. It's a mental game. Like there are some business owners who just cannot get past the spend of marketing, even if it's bringing them value. I had a client who we were spending, his budget with me on an annual basis was if you include ad spend, we were doing about $35,000 a year in marketing cost. And he was making $8 million, and he thought that I was too expensive. He just couldn't get past the marketing spend and you can't help that. And that's what it is. How should a business owner calculate ROI on marketing? What do you use as a baseline? Honestly, everything you do is marketing, right? Referrals is marketing. It's all marketing. So what we've been transitioning to is looking at engagement rate and MER, which is marketing efficiency ratio. And so all I'm doing is I'm taking all of the money I spent on marketing, okay? And I'm dividing out all the money I made from all the money I spent on marketing. And that's your marketing efficiency ratio, okay? And really, I know that sounds, that doesn't help me be specific about my campaigns. That's why we look at engagement rate, because attribution is getting really muddy right now. I'm going to let you in on a dirty little secret. If you run an agency, listen closely. If you're a business owner, okay, listen to this, because you should be careful of this, all right? I'm warning you about something that us agencies do, okay? It is very easy to make the data look the way that you want it to look. It is very easy to make the data look the way you want it to look. And when I am advertising my business, I'm going to show you my all-time greatest hits as a company. I'm going to show you the best stats I've ever produced, okay? And I'm going to spin them to be even better than they probably were. It's part of marketing. Is it lying? It definitely can fringe on that. Don't lie. I'm a big believer in never, ever lie. I would never lie about my stats. But it's very easy to take stats and show them to people who don't really know what they're looking at because they're not marketers, and make it sound great. You know what you're doing and producing. Take that for your portfolio and show the value of it. You don't have to fight the customer on it. Let him have whatever he wants to have. But for your portfolio, show the best side of yourself. For businesses looking to engage with an agency, double check, triple check, okay? You want to look for the key metrics that actually mean something. Are they generating revenue? Okay. Is the marketing moving the needle? Do they hit the marketing goals? That's what you need to ask yourself when you're talking with an agency. There you go. How do you stay so humble and handsome? Honestly, I don't feel like I'm humble, to be honest. I feel like in order to get past some imposter syndrome for myself, I've had to play a more egotistical version of myself. Okay. Here's an example. All right. I just gave the feedback of $100 to $200 a month in ad spend is not worth it. Could it be worth it? Yeah. But I said it so confidently, and I'm utilizing my history and my position of authority in this TikTok live context and the backdrop of the personality that I've created to add additional weight to that comment. Okay. Does it make it true? Does it make it fully true? No, it's honest. I'm being honest about it. I personally feel that $100, $200 a month in ad spend is not worth it. But in order to say something so definitively, it is somewhat egotistical. But you have to ride this fine line of, do I know what I'm talking about? Imposter syndrome. And you either are going to have imposter syndrome or you're going to feel egotistical. Those are your two options. And to be honest, The egotistical version gets more opportunities. It makes more business. And honestly, I help my customers. Like we get wins. We're good at what we do. So you have to play that version on TV a little bit. You know what I mean? Plus, I am really awesome. Yeah. If you don't know what Search Atlas and SEMrush are, these are SEO tools for agencies. You can buy them for yourself too, but they're better as an agency tool. But they work differently. SEMrush is a keyword tracking and analysis tool. Okay. You pick the keywords you want to track, it tracks them. Search Atlas is a keyword analytics tool because it pulls your data from your search console directly and actually shows you the analytics of the keywords you actually rank for, not just a limited subsection that you pick. So they're very different tools in that regard. Do they have a lot of crossover? Yeah, they have a lot of crossover, but I think Search Atlas is better because it's a more holistic and organic picture of your rankings rather than a small snapshot of what you think is valuable from SEMrush. How do you build websites straight up React and coding or tools like WordPress? We have 3 tools we're building on right now. Shopify for e-commerce, Press for most websites, and then for like really small websites that only need like a couple of pages or like a restaurant, something like that, we're using onepage.io, which is a builder tool similar to Wix, but it's specifically built to have low code impact and full SEO capability. What's the best way to market courses? It's really a tough spot right now because courses is starting to become an oversaturated market. TikTok and Instagram video is probably the best way to market courses right now. Influencer marketing, hire an influencer, probably where to start. I offer medical billing services, suggestion for a social strategy. So the question you have to ask yourself is, are your potential clients on social media? If so, what channels of social media? And if so, what are they consuming on those channels? Now you know exactly what you need to do. You need to make that type of content on those types of channels. That's how you do it. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found value in this. If you did, hit me with the follow or go join me at fullvelocitymarketing.com. It's my free marketing Discord. I will throw this out there if you want to get more in depth. Mitch, the paid ads expert on TikTok, and I are doing a mastermind course. You can get to it from my bio. Join our mastermind. It just kicked off. We had our first week last week. It was awesome. Would love to see you in that mastermind if you're looking to up your marketing game, either as an agency owner or a business owner. We're going to provide you as much value as we possibly can. Thank you so much. I'm here because of you. You support me so much, and I've just been so blessed by TikTok. So thank you so much for everything. And as I always say in marketing, best of luck, friends.